today I wanted to do a video on how to properly stretch your ears in ear stretching 101. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you is the different types of plugs, gauges, flares, tapers, and tunnels. Okay, so the first one I have is a 0 flare plug. As you see, it has no flares on the side. It's like a straight end. These black things are O-rings. Stop, okay. Okay. So the next one is a tunnel. This is a tunnel. You can see right through it. And it has 2 flares on the side. The next one, I believe this is a screw-on plug. And it's screw-on because you screw it on. Well, y'all can see. And you can screw it back on like that. And it has double flares on it. The next one is a taper. A taper is what's used to when you're upsizing. Okay, this is a taper. It has a smaller end and it gradually gets bigger. So the bigger end. Also, you have spiral tapers. It gets smaller, goes around the curve, gets bigger, and around this tip, it gets smaller. With these, you also need O-rings. You need 2 O-rings. When I wore these, I found that it kind of slip and slide around the place. So I use O-rings on this. Okay, so now that you understand the different types of tapers, plugs, tunnels, and the whole shebang, we're going to get into like just tips and points on correctly stretching, tips and procedures that you need to do, things that you should really abide by. Okay, so when you say gauge is a form of measurement. It's not it's a form of measurement. That's the correct terminology for gauge. The next thing is when you're first starting off, the regular sizes that you would normally start off are 16 or 14 gauge. That is like the normal size of an earring hole. It's 16 or 14 gauge. Sizes range from 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0, 00, and then you're going into 7/16. Those are the sizes that you will go when you're stretching. So if you just started and you're at a 16, the next step would be to go to a 14. You wouldn't go from a 16 to a 12. That's skipping. You don't want to skip. So a 16 to a 14 to a 10, 10 to an 8. You decrease by 2 numbers, and that's the next size. Okay. So the bigger the number, the bigger the hole means the smaller the gauge. So like I said, if you're at 00, a 00 doesn't mean you have a small hole. That means you have a bigger hole. A 16 means that you have a smaller hole. So the bigger the number, the smaller the hole. The smaller the number, the bigger the hole. Okay. It's best to start with steel and not acrylic. Steel is very easy to clean. When you're stretching with steel, it kind of it can slip right in. It doesn't really do anything, and it's easier to clean. The next tip I would say is to buy kits. When I started out stretching, I bought kits of tapers. Now, me personally, I started out with acrylic tapers. I didn't have any side effects from it. I didn't have any of that from stretching with acrylic tapers. But if you have concerns, then you might want to start with steel tapers. The next tip will be just acrylic tapers can harbor bacteria. So like I was saying, just to piggyback off of what I said already, buy steel tapers if you are really concerned. If you know that you're not going to clean your tapers on a daily basis, then buy steel tapers. But if you buy acrylic tapers, you're going to need to clean your ears on a day-to-day basis. The next step is to clean. When you are wearing ear tapers and you are stretching your lobes, you need to maintain a clean area. You need to clean your ears in and around. You need to clean your plugs, your tunnels, whatever you have in your ears. You need to clean it on a day-to-day basis. You do not want to get an infection in your ear or have that ear funk, because a lot of people that gauge or stretch their ears get ear funk. And I'm not even subject to that because I have ear funk from time to time. So you have to make sure you're cleaning your ears on a day-to-day basis. Clean. When you're stretching your ears, you want to try to use plugs more so than tunnels. When you get to like the bigger sizes, tunnels tend to get heavier. And when you're at the smaller sizes, you're kind of good. But when you get to like big sizes like this is a 00 plug, and just holding it in my hand, it has more weight on it than this plug. So just realize this plug, you could be taper. This taper is lightweight. You can wear these all the time. But if you have a 00 on your ear and you're trying to wear that 24/7, it will actually weigh down on your ear and it can cause ripping as well. So try not to wear tapers so much. Try to use plugs and tunnels and things like that. The next thing that I would recommend when you are stretching, not try to stretch your ears without any type of lubrication. Get you some oil. Get jojoba oil. The oil that I mostly used was this herbal oil. I use this herbal oil for my ears. Baby oil gel is something else that I use during my stretching process. They have some. If you go online, you can probably find some of the ear stretching lubrications and things like that online. But me personally, I used what I had, and that's baby oil gel and herbal oil. A tip that I would give to you all is to stretch in the shower. What I would do when I was trying to stretch, I would get some oil, make sure my hands are really oiled, and just massage it. Fingertips and kind of massage my ears. By you massaging in the shower, it's hot and it's going to help the tissue to kind of soften up and be able to stretch. It will be easier and it will be less painful. The next tip is sea salt. I'm not sure if you all have piercings like I do, but I know my personal piercing person is, well, all piercing people, they tell you salt water, sea salt water, not just regular salt, but sea salt water. You can get sea salt from your local beauty supply store. Sea salt costs no more than $3 to $4. It shouldn't cost any more in your local supermarket like Kroger's or, well, whatever state you live in, your grocery store should carry sea salt, or your local health food store. And you take like a teaspoon of some sea salt water, and I put it in some hot water, not like scalding hot, but kind of warm hot, and just kind of circle it so it'll dissolve. And I'll take a Q-tip and clean it. Watch my other video of how to properly clean and change your gauges, tapers, plugs. I have a video on how I do that, but clean with sea salt water, it will help to kind of heal it up a little quicker and just to keep it really clean. Next tip is to be patient. Be patient, be patient. Do not skip sizes. Please don't skip sizes. I cannot tell you enough of how it is so important to not skip sizes and just be patient. Your ears will stretch to however you want them to stretch. Just give it time. You cannot go from this size to this size safely in a month. It's not possible. You are ripping your lobes. Your ears will never go back. Like, no. People are really deciding to go from this size to this size in a month, and that's not safe. Like, your ears, you're not stretching. You're not correctly stretching. You are ripping your ears to get to the desired spot that you want to get in. And by you doing that, for one, when you're doing that, you ripping your lobes. You can get a blowout on the back of your earlobe. A blowout is not cute. It's not sexy. It's not pretty. Like, it looks nasty. Blowouts look nasty as hell. Excuse my French, but it looks nasty because you're being impatient, you're stretching, you're pushing, you're just doing too much to your ears, and you're going to get a blowout, and then you're going to have to reverse, go down 2 to 3 sizes just to get your ears to stretch back up, and that is not a guarantee that your blowout is going to go away. It's just a guarantee that it's going to kind of come back together, but it's not going to go away, and it's just going to look nasty. The whole point of getting gauges is so that it's cute. It's your body modification. You want people to be like, damn, I want that. But not if you have a nasty ass blowout on your ear. So be patient, people. The next tip is if you just got your ears pierced, like fresh off the market, you just came out the piercing place and got your ears pierced. Don't go and try to just gauge your ear that day. Wait for it to heal up. Your piercing people should give you an estimated time. I'm not sure. I got my ears pierced when I was a baby, so I can't give you that type of estimation. But if you go to your local piercing shop or call around, they could probably tell you what time you should wait to switch up your gauges. So the next tip is use longer tapers, not the shorter ones. Longer tapers are kind of like they're better for your ears than getting a shorter one, because you never know, your ears might swell up or whatever, and if you have a shorter taper in, then it'll just be too much. The next tip is if you are going to clean your ears with soap, please do not go and get fragrant soap and all that fancy body soap. Get some antibacterial soap. They use antibacterial soap for a lot of things. If you have tattoos, then you know that you're cleaning with that. It gets the bacteria out of your stuff. So if you want to clean with it, don't try to clean it with your Women's Axe body wash, your peppermint soap body wash. Don't use anything with a fragrance, and make sure it's antibacterial. The next tip, if you're suffering from ear funk, take your plugs, tapers, whatever you have in your ears, take it out. Let your ears air out. Get you some sea salt water. Get a Q-tip. Clean them out. Just clean your ears. Soak your plugs inside of those for at least like 10 to 15 minutes. Make sure you clean it. I would take like a baby wipe and clean it before I soak it, just to make sure everything is off of it. Then I would soak it inside of that mixture, and then I would dry it off with a paper towel, and then put it back in your ears, and your ear function, it should be gone. Stop. The next thing I would say is when I was stretching from my smaller sizes up onto my bigger sizes. Well, when I was going through like my 16, my 14, my 10s, and my 12s, I would wait a month in between. 4 weeks to 5 weeks in between stretches, so my ear was completely healed from the previous stretch before I go and try to stretch to a bigger size. That's what I would do. I wait a month. Before, when I was at a 00, I waited like 2 to 3 months, I think, maybe longer. But when I stretched from my 00 to my 7/16, I waited. I think I stretched like probably October. I stretched from 0 to 00 in October, and I stretched from 00 to 7/16. What's this month? April. Yeah. So I waited October, November, December, January, February. 6 to 7 months to stretch up to this size. So just give your ears time, because if you have plugs, tapers, whatever, I noticed that if you give it time, it will the tissue will just open up by itself, like get a little looser and bigger. So that way you're not just struggling to push this big thing through your ears. But just have fun with your body mods. Like, don't feel pressured to have to stretch so quickly, because it's a great feeling to say, oh, I want to get to this size, and it took me this long. I've been stretching since January of last year, I believe, and I'm finally to a size that I'm happy with. I think I do want to go down one more size, and then I'll be complete. I'm gonna go down one more size, and then I'll be complete with that. So, but yeah, just be patient. Don't try to rush it or think that you have to. Like, when I first started taping, well, not taping, when I first started to stretch, I didn't hear of this taping method, I guess, that people are using. Me personally, I'm not going to tape a plug to get to a bigger size. I would just rather buy a bigger taper, because to me that's just really dirty. It just sounds dirty, because some people are using electrical tape. Stop. Some people are using electrical tape, and that just some people are using like first aid bandage tape, I don't know, to get to bigger sizes. One chick is stretching like up a size every week, and that's not safe for you. Like I said, patience is key. Patience is key. Your gauges will be there when that size comes. Like, you'll be okay. Just be patient. But I wish you all a safe stretching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my page. If this video is helpful to you, thumbs up. If you think this video will be helpful to someone else, share the video, please, and thank you. Thank you for watching. Peace.